everyone, and welcome back to the Cinderella phenomenon here on Touchy Up. I am Abigail.
And I'm Bethany.
And today we are going down the Chapter 2 Romance Rumpel Sealskin, although he is just called Rumpel since he's not actually from Sealskin. So, Bethany.
Okay. I do not know why the first person that popped into my mind was Rumpel. Just because he puts a smile on ladies' faces with his flirting does not mean he can help me do a good deed. And yet, here I am. I find Rumpel breaks surrounded by a few giggling ladies. His hands make dramatic, sweeping gestures as he showers them with compliments.
And you, my sweet, are like sunshine peeking through the clouds on a dark day. Aren't these the noble ladies that were insulting us earlier inside the game?
Ooh.
You litter the ground with so much golden light and make every flower reach out toward your warmth.
What about maybe I should read instead?
I think Waltz is still available. Princess! Ruffle, Senpai noticed me.
Rumpel notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. Turn and walk toward him.
Turn and walk away. We're not doing this anymore.
I just remembered that I have something to do. I was walking away, but I am immediately stopped when I feel Rumpel's hand on my shoulder. I slapped his hand away.
Fierce as always, you remind me of a rose with thorns, Princess.
He leans closer and winks at me.
But the thorns are what make the rose so alluring.
Are you always persistent, or do you actually want me to slap you again?
Your slapping me is but a small blockade in the road. I will never give up on you, Princess.
Does he enjoy it when I purposefully try to ignore him?
The most brilliant sparkling gems are buried deep within the ground and take much effort to unearth.
What?
Princess, you are like one of those gems.
No, I am not like a gem.
Woo! 2 crystals down. A lot more to go. Rumpel, why would you deal with someone like her?
What?
Lucette is like a budding flower, and I want to do my best to help her bloom in whatever way I can. You've come to me for advice, right?
How do you know?
The look of shock on your face is adorable and so absolutely satisfied it seems I hit the nail right on the head.
Rumpel, she is obviously too stubborn to admit that she needs her help. These women are infuriating.
Oh.
Rumpel leans a little closer to me and suddenly uses sitting in my ear.
Let me tell you something, Princess. Making a person happy just to see them smile is definitely a good thing.
Huh?
Making someone feel important is never a disservice. What do you think? I'm pretty knowledgeable, aren't I?
All he ever talks about is doting on people, flirting with them, and making them smile. Rumpel continues talking.
Which is why I will make an excellent partner.
I take a step back. Rumpel is now looking at me with a triumphant smile. How did you?
I am very perceptive, Princess.
You overheard my conversation with Parfait.
You told me about it.
She did?
Only briefly.
So you're not perceptive at all.
Princess, you cannot see it, but I'm drowning in my own tears.
He just assumed I was going to be partners with him, which is very annoying. I do not even know why I was considering partnering up with Rumpel. He says the same things over and over again. And I do not think I could be around him day in and day out.
Oh my, what do I spot here?
So Laura appears before us, a slight smile on her face.
Slacking off, you two. I'm on break. That break ended about 5 minutes ago, Rumpel. And Princess, I think there's a broom that needs attending.
Fine. There is no use complaining, and I would rather get away from Rumpel. Rumpel turns to the ladies and smiles.
My lovely ladies, I will be back later, and I promise that we will continue our conversation without any interruptions. Oh, and Princess, we'll continue our conversation later as well.
I walk up before Rumpel can try to shower more of his compliments onto me. Making a person happy just giving smiles? Can such a thing really be considered a good deed?
I think it depends if you truly love them.
The days at the tavern go by quickly over the next week.
Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space.
I was just thinking. I just finished using Mr. Broom, and now I'm helping Anna sort some of the shelves in the back. Rumpel has taken up the serving for today. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him.
They're jealous of Rumpel, I think.
Who?
The other men.
Annis looks over at the men that are glaring at Rumpel as he drifts between tables.
I'm worried about Rumpel, too.
What are you talking about?
Well, you were looking at Rumpel with a funny expression on your face.
No, I wasn't. My words are clipped and my voice is cold. Annis looks at me sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business.
I think the girls are jealous of you, too.
What? I glance around the tavern and notice that there are girls glowering at me. I am not unaccustomed to these glares, since people have always looked at me this way. During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks, but this feels different somehow. Why would they be jealous?
Because you're Rumpel's partner.
I am not his partner.
You're not? He's been telling everyone that you are.
I never agreed to being partners with him.
I felt your longing gaze upon my back, and I have arrived, my princess.
Rumpel suddenly appears
Before
the two of us, smiling brightly. I suddenly had a strong urge to slap the smile right off his face. We are not partners.
But princess, you asked for my advice that I gave to you because I care. No one else cares as much about you as I. And so I proclaimed us both partners because we are a match made in heaven. Debatable. You're so overwhelmed with gratitude that you are at a loss for words.
What?
A punch packed with as much strength as you. Okay, hang on. I can read that better. A punch packed with as much strength. No, that's just a weird. It's just a weird sentence.
I can only groan in response. Oh my. Hello everyone, it sounds like you're having fun. What is this fun? Rumpel is never fun. All he ever does is spout nonsense.
Ah,
He doesn't mean any harm, Princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments and he needs to get them off his chest.
you should write poetry.
Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to Rumpel and furrow my eyebrows at him. Or do you only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you?
I only wanted to help, Princess. That's what partners do, right?
But we are not partners.
Just try this partnership out. I promise it will be worth your while.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, Princess. You can always change partners.
Lady Perfect, you've broken my heart.
You are very good at healing your broken heart by now, Rumpel. Anyway, I am sorry to interrupt. I only needed to speak with Annis to make sure that she doesn't need any help with a particular list. List?
A list of herbs for
me. Annis has been nice enough to gather herbs for me.
Lady Parfait, is this about your body?
What's wrong with your body? There's nothing to concern yourself with, Princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden on it. That's right, Parfait mentioned having to bear the crystal limb Lucette.
Which I think that's it right there, that little crystal on her pyramid.
Ooh. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use magic to heal yourself? Parfait shakes her head and sighs. I don't have the ability to heal, none of us do, except the one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor?
Is something wrong? Rumpel shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile.
That name just sounds familiar.
It's likely you heard about her from someone else before. Humans do know of her existence after all. A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason I had thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches. She is indeed a witch, that is what they say. Though I have never met her myself. She is the only one who can heal illness with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches though, and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time.
Suffice it to say, we could never seek out her help, even if we wanted to.
Parfait shakes her head. No, unfortunately not. Rumpel looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands. If Delora were here, she would say, all right, story time is over.
That was all very interesting.
Interesting, but it does not really help anyone. Your body is the way that it is because of the Great War then. Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed, and I don't have an heir, so... Parfait looks about, ready to say something, but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. Annis immediately speaks up.
I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes. Do you need any help? I would be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town.
Janice pulls a list out from a bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few items on the list as far as I can see.
Don't worry about it, Rumpel. It's not that much at all.
Rumpel stares at the list, his expression suddenly smooths into something more serious.
May I have that?
Janice hands him the list and slowly he takes a pin out from his pocket. I stare as he looks over the list quietly and then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterwards, he hands it over to Annis.
I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want something a little more general.
How does he know all that? Everyone is staring at Rumpel with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed. You've used herbs before, Rumpel?
Maybe. I don't remember, but for some reason names came to the top of my head as I was looking at the list.
Thank you.
It's always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, Annis, please let me accompany you to town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to mind. That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumpel.
Rumpel looks at me and sees a smile on his face. Whenever you look at me like that, I know he's going to suggest something ridiculous.
Princess Lucette should accompany us for the experience.
I do not need experience.
How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you.
Rumpel has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn about people. I do not need to be lectured. Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable.
Invaluable. Come on, Princess. Let us escort the lovely Annis around town.
What about your work?
Rumpel puts a finger to my lips and grins. No one seems to have thought of that, so it will be our little secret.
I slap his hand away, but he just grins at me juvenilely. How did I get dragged into this? Please don't stay out too long.
We won't.
I make my way into town with Rumpel and Annis. The majority of the conversations we have are one-sided, with Rumpel giving us both the usual compliments. He never seems to tire of it. Rumpel helps Annis pick certain herbs and a few other medications and accepts all of the compliments she gives him with a triumphant smile. I know Annis knows about herbs because she's helped me before, but how does Rumpel know so much about them? This must be part of the past that he doesn't remember. Annis enters the store by herself at one point, leaving me alone with Rumpel.
I'm a mysterious man, aren't I?
I turn to look at him and notice the easy smile adorning his face.
A man with amnesia is full of secrets, after all. I bet you're even more curious about me. Women always love mysterious men.
I do not particularly care.
But Princess, if my curse is my amnesia, then shouldn't you care somehow? As partners, we're going to help each other out, right?
I do not see how I can help you with your amnesia.
Maybe this is a spell that is only broken by true love's kiss. Shall we see?
He leans toward me with a playful smile on his face. I am accustomed to this behavior by now. So this does not faze me, and I merely sigh at his nonsense. You already said yourself that you need to gather entries from some kind of journal.
Ah, Princess, you're no fun. A little kiss wouldn't hurt anyone.
I would die before I kiss you.
Princess, that's so sad.
He says that, but he's still smiling. Why is he so unfazed by everything I say to him? If you only ever have terrible suggestions. It was a mistake to trust you might have good advice.
But I have great ideas.
You haven't helped me with my purse at all.
I have been trying, though.
You wouldn't have even tell. You haven't even told me how to get a good deed.
I told you before, Princess, compliments make a person happy. Making a person happy is a good deed.
So you flirting with women and using shallow compliments on them is a good deed.
On the surface, the compliments may seem shallow, but if you swim a little deeper,
complimenting people cannot be a good deed.
But making them happy is. All you have to do is listen to people, sympathize with them, maybe get to know them, and you can make them happy by doing even small things for them. Women enjoy the compliments, Princess. Besides, how could I see such beauties and not compliment them? It would be a disservice.
You give compliments to people you do not even care about.
Princess?
Rumpel's voice trails off as he stares past me. His smile falters for a few moments, and a look of confusion ripples his features. I turn to follow his gaze and see a small boy staring at us. He is shyly hiding behind some kind of notebook. There's that seriousness again. It was the same thing that happened when he added something to the list for Parfait. And suddenly the expression changes into Rumpel's usually bright smile.
Hello there, would you like to come and speak with us, young sir?
Startled.
You don't remember me, sir? Oh, do I know you? I used to come to your clinic. You saved me before.
The boy draws closer to us, still hiding shyly behind his notebook.
I'm sorry, little sir. I'm afraid that my memories are a bit scrambled right now. I can't even remember my own name. Really?
Where is Ernest? Why is she taking so long? The last thing I want to hear is a conversation between Rumpel and some child. He's going to shower this.
Is he?
Is he going to shower this boy with compliments too?
That might be inappropriate. It's a shame that I can't remember a boy as bright as yourself, man.
There it is.
I'm not that bright, sir, not as bright as you, but I want to be.
He holds up his notebook, which has a small name scribbled in the corner. The words "My dreams" are written on the front cover in cursive letters.
What's this? I want to be just like you when I grow up. So I started a book of dreams, just like my mom told me. She said I could become a doctor, too, so long as I tried my best. Doctor? You forgot that you were a doctor, sir?
Rumpel? A doctor? The boy continues to hold out the book, and finally Rumpel takes it and flips open to the first page.
Front page.
Rumpel is holding the book close to his face, so I cannot see it. I rise to the tips of my toes and attempt to look over his shoulder. At first, Rumpel does not notice me as he stares at the page. Then belatedly realizes I am there, lowers the book so that I can read too. I lean so close to him, our shoulders brush. My eyes scan over the page quickly. The handwriting is crude, barely readable actually, but I can still make out the gist of it. Rumpel slowly reads the words aloud.
I'm only want to be exactly like the kind doctor that saved me when I had no one else to go to. The boy's face flushes as Rumpel reads his words aloud, before his curious gaze lands on me. I don't remember you.
I look at the boy, irritated.
Are you the doctor's wife?
Rumpel suddenly looks up, eyes wide. He looks down at the boy, then at me, his face suddenly solemn. I am surprised by the words that leave his mouth next.
Yes, she is.
Ah! He takes my hand in his and looks down at me, an almost sad look on his face. What's wrong with him? Slap him? Pull his hand away.
We're gonna go ahead and save because I want to try to get the good ending of the first run instead of the bad ending.
Yeah.
So, should we slap, pull, or slap?
Let's not make a scene in front of the boy.
So, pull hand away?
Yeah.
Yes.
He has such a strange look on his face. So I tried to pull my hand away, but Rumpel holds tightly to it. The sadness in his eyes become intense anxiety. And I see something like fear dancing in his eyes.
You really think it was my fault?
What?
Sir?
Rumpel squeezes my hand a little too tightly. He looks at me desperately.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What? Let me go. I finally managed to pry my hand free. I don't think it was the right one.
I don't think it was either.
Rumpel looks at me. Hang on. Looks at me for a few minutes, almost bewildered, and then his eyes suddenly widen. He looks back at the journal, then at me.
Oh, I think I blanked out. I'm sorry, Princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's
reload. Load.
That one. This is why we save before we make critical decisions.
Slap him. Let go of me. Rumpel's eyes pierce with worries. He holds tightly to my hand. The sadness in his eyes becomes anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. Really think it was
my fault.
The look in his eyes is so vacant, almost like he is looking through me. It is as if he is in some kind of trance. The way he looks at me makes my skin crawl. His grip on my hand tightens, making me shudder. Rather than slap his hand away, reach out with my free hand and slap his face. I stare perplexed at the sudden bafflement on Rumpel's face. Did the slap to the face knock him out of that strange trance? He is being even stranger than normal, and the intensity of the look in his eyes is scaring me. Rumpel stares at me for a few moments, blinking slowly.
Oh no, I blanked out. I'm sorry, Princess. Okay, then.
What just happened to him? The way he was speaking was so strange, almost like he was in some kind of trance, but I know how people are. They lie and they put on faces.
Sorry for spacing out. If I invaded your space, then I am sorry.
You are apologizing?
Rumpel puts a hand to his cheek where I slapped him. I think I deserve that. Thanks for getting me out of whatever that was.
All at once, a sheepish smile breaks into something cheerful again. He is still smiling at me, even though I was so curt with him. Rumpel is so confusing. The boy chuckled.
The
The
boy
boy
laughed.
looks bewildered.
Don't worry about that, little sir. This one here is the feisty thing. I deserve whatever she just did. So she's not your wife, sir?
Rumpel looks a little surprised and then he laughs.
Unfortunately, no. The beautiful lady here is not my wife. Excuse me.
Rumpel absently rubs at the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky.
I'm not entirely sure of what just happened, but it seems like I recovered something very important today, or the beginnings of something important.
Something important. Is he thinking about a memory? He hands the book back to the boy, then he leans down and sets a hand on the boy's head. A bell chimes behind us as Ernest comes out of the store carrying a bag filled with what I assume are herbs and medicines. The boy once again cowers behind his book.
Oh, who's this? The wonderful little sir that helps me regain a very important memory. An important memory?
Uncle stands looking triumphant.
I, my good lady, am a doctor. Oh, really? Truly.
Uncle turns back to the boy who he asked a few more questions. He even asked the boy his name, but much to my surprise, the boy shakes his head.
I'm sure you told me your name, but I don't remember it.
It is like my curse. No one remembers me being a princess, and no one remembers Rumpel's true name. Rumpel thanks the boy again many times over and even buys him a few pieces of candy. The boy's eyes are practically glowing with excitement, and he does not stop smiling. After we see him off and start to head back to the tavern, I begin to contemplate. I am curious about something.
Oh,
You said that you needed to fill your journal with memories in order to get them back. But the journal you just read wasn't yours.
it appears not. It seems that the 3 entries that trigger my memories just need to be written by people I know. Reading them triggers a memory, and then the full entry appears in my journal. Probably. I have to check it when we get back.
I see.
But even without looking into the entry, a memory came to your mind.
Rumpel gives a short, distracted nod.
It's not complete, so I'm hoping that something really has appeared in my journal. It feels like it must, considering I remembered something so important. Do you remember anything else at all? The young man that we just met, I believe that he used to come watch me work before. I knew him. He used to look up to me. He was a sweet child. The memory is foggy, but yes, I believe something did happen to him. He became ill. The details of how I saved him must be in the journal.
Even though this does not pertain to my curse, I am curious what his journal might say.
I can't remember fully, but the memory feels sad somehow.
He turns to me, eyebrows knit together. It is strange to see him with such a serious expression on his face.
I really am sorry about earlier, Princess. I think I was on the verge of a memory, but then it got tangled up in my head.
I'm surprised by his intentions and topic. I shake my head slowly. He is quiet for a few moments before suddenly his smile comes back and he laughs juvenilely, telling us that there is no point in worrying. The town's outskirts I turn, feeling eyes on my back. But no one is there. We give Parfait the medicines we purchased in town as soon as we arrive back at the merchant, and Rumpel proudly announces that he is a doctor to everyone that will listen to him. Everyone seems happy for him, save for the merchant patrons that find Rumpel annoying, who are mostly men. Afterwards, Rumpel asks Annis if he might be able to take over the medications for Parfait, if only because Annis is busier than him. Rumpel hasn't been at the merchant long, and yet he has already found something to help break his curse. And then there's me. I do not think anyone will be able to help me. At the end of the night, when I finally have time to myself, I return to my room to rest. The next day, I am set right back to my chores. Rumpel is nowhere to be seen in the morning, and Anna says it is because he is tending to Parfait. He appears later in the afternoon, still full of smiles and silly flattery as he goes back to serving. How does he have so much energy?
Coffee?
At the end of the day, I plop down on the couch to rest. My legs are weak from all the walking I have done today, and I can still feel the tiredness in my arms from all the sweeping with Mr. Broom.
Princess?
I notice Anna standing beneath the doorway, smiling at me uncertainly.
Thank you for your work today.
Why is she thanking me for work I absolutely did not want to do? It's not as if I've asked to do any of this.
But you still help.
Annis nervously shifts on her feet.
So I just wanted to say thanks.
When I do not make any effort to continue speaking with her, Annis gives a nervous little nod before heading back toward her room. Not long after her departure, I hear an exuberant and familiar voice.
I should feel like the stars, but they are giving me a rare opportunity to meet with my lovely princess this late at night.
I should have gone to my room. Rumpel stops before me, winking.
The moonlight on your face makes your beautiful eyes sparkle like the most precious gold, princess.
I'm not in the mood for your flattery.
But princess, flattery is just a confirmation of compliments. Everyone loves compliments.
I do not care for your compliments.
Or Lady Annis's thanks either.
You heard that?
You should learn to let people spoil you.
I stare at him. That is the last thing I had ever expected anyone to say. My whole life I have been called spoiled and rotten, the Ice Princess. Even Delore and Parfait want me to do these good deeds because they think I am incapable of goodness. I clench my fist and continue to stare at him, not understanding the swell of emotion inside of me. Why is he being so nice to me?
Your first lesson is learning how to let people spoil you.
He draws back his hand, reaches into his pocket, and presents me with a small yellow bag. What's this?
It's for you, sweet princess. I'm pretty sure we should accept the gift, but I'm just going to save anyways, so accept the gift.
I am not used to receiving gifts out of the blue.
What a shame. I would have given you so many gifts if I could, princess.
Why?
Because people are moved by gifts when they come from the heart.
Let's go back from Rumpel's hand and look at it for a few moments.
Besides, this is both a thank you and an apology gift. A thank you for accepting me as your partner, and an apology for my behavior yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but both you and the boy seemed frightened.
I look down at the little bag. I open it up, and inside is yellow.
It's a little white.
Is a little white chocolate piece fashioned into the shape of a flower. A lily.
It's not much, but you absolutely must accept it, Princess. Otherwise, my guilt would drown me in darkest shadows of sorrow for the rest of time.
Lilies are my favorite flower.
They say you give a white lily to someone you enjoy spending time with. Oh, and in floral language, they also stand for purity and majesty.
You accept me.
Perfect for you, Princess.
Why?
Why what?
Why would you give me this? Why would you give this to me? No matter what you say about doing nice things for people, I don't see how that applies to me. So why would you thank me for being your partner? I do not even want to be your partner at first.
But you do now?
I'm unable to with...
Do you think we messed up?
Maybe. I am unable to withhold my surprise. Rumpel raised an eyebrow and sighs.
Princess, you don't just compliments, do you?
Yeah, I think we messed up.
Yeah, we messed up. Okay, load. Load. Don't save over.
Bad.
That would be bad. It'd be like, okay, well, I guess we're getting the bad. Don't accept.
I cannot accept your death.
But Princess, my advice.
No reason to spoil me.
Princess, this is what I've been trying to explain to you all day. You don't need a reason to spoil someone. It doesn't always have to be about paying someone back.
This has a sheepishly bag in my hand. I felt fingers around it.
You deserve nice things. You deserve nice things, Princess.
You barely know me, and yet you still say that.
Barely know you. We may not have known each other personally, but that doesn't mean I don't know enough about you.
There we go.
There it is. I'm giving you this gift because I want you to have it. Because I truly want you to have it. Besides, this is both a thank you and an apology. No! Stop! Stop. Okay.
Back!
Back. Just go.
Oh, dear. Oh, we have totally missed something. We're gonna have to reload again.
Oh, darn it, my bad.
Load. Don't save.
Load. Yes. Yes, don't accept.
I cannot accept your gift. Okay.
Crystal. It's an apology gift. And we're here. At the end of the bag and open it, there's a lily in it.
Favorite flower. Blah, 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 blah. Ah! What are you talking about? I'm able to withhold my surprise.
Princess, you don't trust compliments, do you?
Mother always told me that people were two-sided, that they'd say, anything to make you believe that they were your friend. No.
Never fear, my sweet princess. I'll make sure I compliment you until you learn to accept them.
But...
No buts. I derive my happiness from making ladies like you happy. The compliments may seem strange to you, but don't worry. You'll see them and you'll see it in time.
See what?
The connections between people. You assume I'm just a flirt, but I get to know an awful lot about people. It's the reason I can guess so much about you.
What does Rumpel possibly know about me?
So, what do you think? Are you more attracted to me now because of my mysterious aura, or my doctorly sophistication?
Feeling is closer to me, his eyes sparkling.
I could be your own personal doctor.
I would slap you if you touched me again. Rumpel pulls back in and raises both of his hands in surrender, but the smile does not leave his face. You really are hopeless, aren't you?
Do you think so? I thought that the events from today might have proven otherwise. Oh, speaking of which, I read over my journal earlier.
This is such a lovely column.
Shall I enlighten you?
Why would you tell me all of this?
Oh, you're not interested? I thought you might be, since I was your partner.
If I don't understand, you'll still tell me regardless, so feel free to share.
Rumpel sighs as he flips the journal open. Unfortunately, it was not much. The memory began coming together again as I was reading, but a lot of it still doesn't make sense.
I glanced down at the entry he has stopped at.
Look at the bottom of the page, Princess.
I followed his gaze to the bottom of the page and paused, noticing a conspicuous gap.
There's no signature, and I always sign the end of every entry I write. I wonder if that might be the final piece of the puzzle.
The final piece of your curse?
If my name refuses to show up in the book, it may very well be the final memory I need to regain.
Do you believe that the signature will be what gives you your true name, then?
I have a feeling that might be the case. It was the first thing I noticed when the entry appeared. That would explain why the boy in town didn't know my name either. And there's something else.
Anything else that is missing?
The journal entry is cryptic at best, vague, almost like an incomplete puzzle piece.
I'm not understanding. Sorry, I hope you can explain.
It says here that the boy's family rushed him to my clinic. He had a terminal illness that I could not cure. He was at death's door, and I couldn't save him.
But he's still alive, isn't he? He even told you he even said you saved him.
Yes, there is a resolution in the journal, but it's not very helpful.
I glanced down at the journal entry as Rumpel continues to speak.
I refused to give up. I knew that there had to be a way to save the boy. I never gave up on my patients. In the journal entry, I described someone who came to help me save the boy. He lifts the book and points to the words, reading them aloud. I met her for the first time tonight. She told me she had some way to help the boy, so we struck a deal. I hope I do not come to regret this.
He snaps the journal shut, startling me. His smile as he runs a hand through his hair.
That's it. Someone helped me somehow, and I made a deal. I'm assuming this is related to my curse, but I can't say how.
Why do I so quickly?
I wish I could ask my past self that same question.
Rumpel pauses and shakes his head.
I believe it started here, not the curse, but the events that led to it. There's a reason this is the first memory to be triggered. It's important.
For a few moments, the two of us are quiet. Rumpel's curse is a mystery, not because he is hiding it like karma is, but because he does not understand it himself. After a few moments, Rumpel begins to laugh, breaking the silence. I look at him, startled. Why is it so funny?
Oh, it's not funny. It's just, this is all very mysterious, isn't it? And my mysterious past makes me more alluring, doesn't it?
People can take such a serious moment and change into this.
Well, what do you think, Princess? Are you drawn into the mystery of it?
I have no choice. You tell me even if I didn't want to know.
Oh, but you do. I could see the curiosity in your lovely golden eyes. And I could see it earlier today, too. Thank you for accompanying me in town. I believe that I only met the boy because you were there to guide my way.
We were looking for medical supplies. That boy appeared through mere coincidence.
Now, it was more than coincidence. It was destiny.
Fine, whatever you say. Listening to him is exhausting. It makes me realize how tired I am. All these revelations are making my head spin. I am going to bed now. I am too tired for this.
It has indeed been a busy day. We will continue this enlightening discussion some other time.
Perhaps. I turn to walk away from the little
With
the little chocolate in my hand. As I walk back toward the darkness of the hallway, Rumpel's soft voice echoes behind me.
sweet dreams, my princess.
Our room.
Chapter 4. Compliments of value. Ooh. So, you want to end the episode here?
Sure.
Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and stay in touch.
Bye.
Bye!